Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison LaGrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. Our top focus comes in from West Asia. A gunman killed 3 Israeli civilians in West Bank yesterday. The attack took place in a commercial cargo area near the Allenby bridge border crossing with Jordan. The Israeli security forces shot the attacker dead and closed all 3 of its land borders with Jordan. The Israeli army has released a video showing its alleged strikes on Hamas targets in Gaza. According to local medics, Israeli strikes have killed at least 61 people in the last 48 hours. This as Israeli forces continue to battle Hamas men across the Strip. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has said that Israel is preparing for a possible escalation in the fight against Hezbollah in Lebanon. The remarks were made during his visit to Gaza's Netzarim corridor, which splits the Strip into northern and southern zones. Gallant also vowed to eliminate Hamas and catch Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, the mastermind behind the October 7 attacks on Israel. Meanwhile, thousands of Israelis hit the streets in Tel Aviv yesterday. The protesters pushed the Israeli government to seal a deal with Hamas to secure the release of hostages held captive in Gaza. Anti-government protesters and families of hostages together staged demonstrations. During the protests, a scuffle broke out between the protesters and the police, and several demonstrators were arrested. Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khaled bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, is on his first official visit to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with the Crown Prince in New Delhi today. His 2-day visit is aimed at expanding bilateral cooperation between India and the UAE. Earlier in the day, the Crown Prince paid tribute to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat, and he is scheduled to attend a business forum in Mumbai tomorrow. India has detected its first suspected case of Mpox. A male patient who recently returned from a country affected by the virus has been kept in isolation. The Indian Health Ministry has said that established protocols are in place and contact tracing is being carried out. The Health Ministry has said that there is no cause for alarm. And Congress Party leader Rahul Gandhi is visiting the United States. The trip marks his first visit to the country as India's leader of opposition in the lower house of parliament. Rahul Gandhi criticized Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the ruling BJP and its parent organization, the RSS. Gandhi said that nobody is scared of Prime Minister Modi or the BJP, and that the fear of the BJP vanished with the 2024 general election. The remarks were made during his addresses to Indian diaspora in Dallas. The Indian diaspora in over 130 cities across 25 countries staged a protest yesterday. The protest was to demand justice for a trainee doctor who was raped and murdered in Kolkata last month. Demonstrations were held in countries like Japan, Australia, Taiwan and Singapore, and in several parts of Europe and the United States. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has overtaken his Democratic rival Kamala Harris in a major national poll. Now, this happened for the first time in weeks. The New York Times Siena College poll shows Trump leading Harris 48 to 47% among likely voters. Trump's lead comes ahead of his first debate with Harris on the 10th of September. And in the U.S., Kentucky police continue their manhunt for a 32-year-old suspect who opened fire at a car traveling on an interstate highway yesterday. The attack injured at least 5, and officials have launched a search operation in the southeast region of the state. In Pakistan, thousands of supporters of the former Prime Minister Imran Khan gathered on the outskirts of Islamabad. The protesters carried out a rally demanding Khan's release. The PTI leader has been in prison for over a year now on more than 150 charges. The Islamabad administration blocked key entry points into the city and deployed riot police to curb possible unrest. The police used tear gas to disperse the protesting crowd. Algerian authorities have declared President Abdelmadjid Tebboune the winner of the election held over the weekend. According to Algerian Electoral Board, Tebboune received 95% of the vote, which is enough to avoid a second-round runoff election. The country saw a voter turnout of 48%. A fuel truck collided with another truck carrying cattle and people in Nigeria. The collision led to an explosion that killed at least 48 people. The incident occurred in the Ajer area in north-central Nigerian state of Niger. And in climate news, Typhoon Yagi has killed at least 59 people in northern Vietnam. Officials say that the typhoon has left at least 299 people injured, and the authorities have warned of more flooding in the northern region of the country. Experts are calling Yagi the strongest typhoon of Asia in 2024. In southern India's Vijayawada city, incessant monsoon rains have triggered severe flooding over the weekend. At least 32 people died due to the flood-related incidents. Rescue teams helped dozens of people to reach safety shelters via boats. And some rescuers also sustained injuries during the evacuation operations. The weather department say that more rain is expected in the city in the coming days. In South Korea's capital, Seoul, over 30,000 protesters gathered to protest against the government's inaction toward climate change. They sought authorities to take more aggressive actions. The protesters gathered in the Gangnam area, where most of the large corporations are based. The protesters allege that the companies significantly contribute to climate crisis through their carbon emissions. In the U.S. city of Los Angeles, a raging wildfire is threatening tens of thousands of houses. The wildfire is raging in the foothills of the National Forest, situated in the east of the city. Over 600 firefighters are trying to contain the blaze, along with choppers dropping water from the sky, and experts fear that the predicted thunderstorms can worsen the situation. In the northern Romanian region of Maramureș, wildfires led to the evacuation of at least 90 people. According to reports, the blaze torched over 500 hectares of land. Several buildings were also damaged by the fire. Government has deployed at least 250 firefighters to douse the fire. And continuing with wildfires, Bolivia has declared a national emergency due to raging forest fires in the country. Officials say this protocol will allow the nation to get international help quickly. Bolivia has witnessed the largest number of wildfires this year since 2010. At least 3 million hectares of land has been burned to ashes. In Brazil's Amazon rainforest, a drought has brought water levels in the rivers to a record low. People who depend on the river water are struggling to access it. The water has now become too dirty for human consumption. Residents are solely dependent on government supplies, and experts warn that the water levels in the Amazon basin are expected to drop to historic low levels this year. On to business and tech news now. Consumer prices in China rose slightly last month. In August, the inflation rate stood at 0.6% compared to the same period last year. A surge in vegetable prices pushed inflation as parts of China saw extreme weather events. However, the data provides little relief to the country, which is facing a slump in consumer prices since the pandemic. Prices of goods and real estate have declined as demand slowed and inventory piled up. Plane maker Boeing says it has reached a tentative labor agreement with its U.S. workers. The firm has agreed to provide a 25% pay hike to about 32,000 workers. The deal also includes improved retirement benefits and enhanced safety and quality control measures. If the workers' union accepts the deal, it would be Boeing's first full labour agreement in 16 years. An Australian banking giant Westpac has named Anthony Miller as its next CEO. Miller joined the firm in 2020 after serving in various roles at the Deutsche Bank and Goldman Sachs, and he will replace Westpac's current chief executive, Peter King, on the 16th of December. King is retiring after nearly 5 years at the helm of the Australian bank. In India, the initial public offering or IPO of home loan provider Bajaj Housing Finance has opened for bidding by small investors. This is the first IPO from India's Bajaj Group in about 31 years. Investors can apply to buy stakes in Bajaj Housing Finance until the 11th of September. Earlier, the firm raised about $209 million from large institutional investors. Bajaj Housing Finance aims to raise about $782 million during the IPO. American rail operator Norfolk Southern says that it has opened a probe against its CEO, Alan Shaw. This comes after reports said that Shaw was involved in an inappropriate workplace relationship. The company said that its audit committee is working with a law firm to conduct an independent investigation. Canadian retail firm Alimentation Couche-Tard says that it is open to talks with Japan's Seven & I Holdings. Now, this comes after the Canadian firm's $38.5 billion takeover offer was rejected by Seven & I Holdings. The 7-Eleven retail chain operator said that the offer was not in the best interest of its shareholders. And American satellite TV operator DirecTV has filed a complaint against entertainment giant Disney. This comes after talks about a new broadcast deal between the two firms collapsed last week. Disney pulled channels like ESPN and ABC from DirecTV customers. The satellite TV operator says Disney has violated rules of the United States' Federal Communications Commission. And tech giant Apple is all set to kick off its annual product launch event today. The event, titled It's Glowtime, will see the launch of several new products by the iPhone maker. And the star of the event is likely to be the latest iPhone series featuring new artificial intelligence capabilities. The phone is expected to have 4 different models: the iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Plus, the iPhone 16 Pro, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Elon Musk has denied reports regarding a new deal between his artificial intelligence startup, xAI, and electric car firm Tesla. The report suggested that Tesla plans to license xAI's AI models to help power its self-driving software. In return, xAI would reportedly receive a portion of Tesla's revenue. However, Tesla CEO Musk said that the report is not accurate. He said that while Tesla has learned from discussions with xAI, there is no need to license anything. About 75% of the staff at file-sharing platform WeTransfer are being laid off. Now, the move was announced by the platform's Italian owner, Bending Spoons. The firm's CEO said that he wants a smaller and more focused team to work at WeTransfer. Bending Spoons acquired the Netherlands-based WeTransfer earlier this year. And moving to sports, we start with cricket. India's cricket board has unveiled the squad for the first test against Bangladesh. The 16-member squad featured an uncapped pacer, Yash Dayal, while Rohit Sharma has been named the captain of the team, and wicketkeeper batter Rishabh Pant also featured in the squad list. The series marks his return to Test cricket for the first time since December of 2022. The first Test starts on the 19th of September in India's Chennai city. And Pakistan's cricket board has ruled out a venue change for the Test series against England. PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi has said that the entirety of 3-match series will be held in Pakistan. He added that the matches will be played in Multan and Rawalpindi, and this comes after reports emerged that Pakistan is looking to move the Test series to the UAE or Sri Lanka because of renovation work. at the stadiums. England all-rounder Moeen Ali has announced his retirement from international cricket. He has played a total of 289 matches for England from 2014 to 2024. Ali said that he has done his part and it's time for him to become a coach. In an interview, he said that he took the decision to retire after not being called up for England's upcoming white ball series against Australia. And India's football governing body, the AIFF, has agreed to pay a compensation to the former coach Igor Stimac. He is set to receive $400,000 from the board. Stimac was sacked from his position after India's humiliating exit from the World Cup qualifiers. A bitter dispute followed after Stimac demanded his dues, and both sides have now decided to end the spat with this agreement. And Cristiano Ronaldo's goal-scoring streak rages on. He fired late during Portugal's match against Scotland in the Nations League. The goal helped Portugal register a 2-1 win. Ronaldo netted in the 88th minute to register 901st goal of his career. And Argentina's Lionel Messi sent an emotional message to Luis Suarez after Suarez played the final international match of his career. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers match between Uruguay and Paraguay on the 7th of September was Suarez's last. Messi appeared on a video praising him and his contributions towards his national side. He said Suarez leaves behind a legacy for the people today and for generations to come. In tennis, men's world number one, Jannik Sinner of Italy clinched the US Open title. He defeated Taylor Fritz of America 6-3, 6-4, 7-5 to lift the trophy. This was Sinner's first ever US Open victory. He is also the first Italian man to lift the silverware at the Flushing Meadows in New York. And over in the women's draw of the US Open final, world number 2, Aryna Sabalenka, cruised to victory. She downed America's Jessica Pegula 7-5, 7-5 to win the title for the first time. Sabalenka broke down in tears of joy after securing the victory. She went on to thank the spectators after the match. And Rebecca Cheptegei, a Ugandan runner, was honored on a giant screen at the Paralympic Games in Paris. Cheptegei, who competed in the Paris Olympics marathon, died after being set on fire by her boyfriend in Kenya. The 33-year-old athlete passed away 4 days after suffering severe burns from the attack. Spectators applauded as her image was displayed at the Esplanade des Invalides in a tribute. And the 2024 Paralympics in Paris drew to a close. The closing ceremony took place at the iconic Stade de France Stadium. Some 24 French music artists took over the stage to throw an epic electronic party. Paris's mayor handed over the Paralympic flag to International Paralympic Committee President. And moving on to the world of showbiz now, singer Taylor Swift and her footballer beau Travis Kelce were spotted at the US Open men's finals. The Cupid-struck couple attended the event in chic-looking attire, and they were accompanied by celebrities like artist Usher and footballer Patrick Mahomes. And American rapper and songwriter Kendrick Lamar is all set to perform at the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. He has previously also performed at the Mega American Football Spectacle in 2022. The 2025 Super Bowl game will be played on the 9th of February next year. According to reports, singer Adele has turned down a deal worth $200 million. This was offered to her to continue touring. A few days ago, Adele announced that she is taking a long break. She said in a statement that she has worked for 7 years and now it's time to live. And South Korean girl group Blackpink member Jennie Kim has signed a solo deal with Columbia Records. The company will release her new solo single in October. 1889's Columbia Records is one of the oldest surviving American record labels. And rapper Sean Combs has listed his Beverly Hills mansion for sale. It has been listed at a whopping price of nearly $60 million. This was the same house which was raided by the police some time ago in connection to an ongoing human trafficking investigation. However, no charges were levied against him. Now, according to reports, Selena Gomez has entered the youngest billionaire club. She has achieved this through her entrepreneurial ventures, especially her beauty brand Rare Beauty. Apart from her beauty venture, money from her album sales, real estate investments, and brand partnerships also contribute to her net worth. And Beetlejuice collected a staggering $110 million from over 4,000 North American theaters in its opening weekend. This brings the film's global tally to around $145 million. It was produced on a budget of $100 million. The 81st Venice Film Festival wrapped up over the weekend. Spanish director Pedro Almodovar went home with the Golden Lion Award for his film The Room Next Door. Nicole Kidman and Vincent Linden were honored with the acting prizes. Lifetime Achievement Awards were given to American actress Sigourney Weaver and Australian director Peter Weir. Meanwhile, American-Australian actor Nicole Kidman had to leave the Venice Film Festival abruptly. This is after she learned that her mother had passed away. She dedicated her Venice Award to her mother. The reason of the death is not known. And finally, English actor Orlando Bloom had to undergo a massive transformation for his role in The Cut. He had to lose 23 kilograms for his role in the upcoming boxing drama. In an interview, he said losing this much weight was also mentally challenging for him. And that's all on this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
Kamala, you're fired!
I say, bring it on.
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill.